Connecting Central Texas. This is Good Morning Texas.
Good morning to you. It's 6 o'clock and we've made it to Friday. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Joey Horta. Josh Johns has a look at your forecast. Pretty cold out there again today.
Yeah, pretty chilly out there indeed. We have temperatures in the lower 30s, feeling like they're in the low 20s currently though, and the Clark Roofing Kit giving you that view. The radar's quiet this morning. Don't anticipate any sort of rain today. It is going to be a dry one. In fact, you may be able to roll the windows down when you're out there driving later on this afternoon. Don't do it this morning though. Lower 30s, southwest winds around 9 to 10 miles per hour. We're going to see southwest winds getting around 10 to 15 this afternoon, and that'll warm us up back into the lower 60s with plenty of sunshine as we climb up to where we should be this time of year. Our normal this time of year, 60 degrees. Now I'm tracking another cold pattern for next week. We'll break it down that 10-day coming up.
All right, Josh, thank you. And there are now more than 300,000 victims of human trafficking here in Texas alone, and nearly 80,000 of those are kids, according to UT Austin. Students at Copperas Cove ISD are on a mission to raise awareness about this. And 25 News reporter Nakia Simon live in Copperas Cove with how these students are making a difference. Nakia, good morning.
Good morning, Joey. That's correct. The Dynamic Trio is with me this morning. They created an organization at their high school called Students Against Child Trafficking, and they join us this morning to share more about their mission to bring in awareness across the state. Joining me this morning is Charity Galliano. We have Emily Eden and Emily Kimball. So we're going to start with Emily Eden. Good morning.
Good morning.
Why is this mission is so important for you in making sure that everyone across Texas, across the state, knows about child trafficking?
Well, we found this topic because a lot of child trafficking cases have gone unnoticed in our area. Just a couple years ago, we had a case here in Copperas Cove that not a lot of people know about. And so it's also really important for me is a lot of soldiers are sadly involved with these child trafficking cases. And being a military child myself and coming from that community, it was just really sickening and sad to see that. And I felt like it needed to be talked about more, that soldiers were more involved.
And for Emily Kimball, this is not the first year or the first rodeo, I would say, that you've been trying to bring this issue to different advisors in your community. Just tell me a little bit more about your mission.
Well, child trafficking has been a big part of my life for quite some time. I got my first PAC certificate about 5 years ago, and since then I've put up flyers around Bell County, talked to multiple organizations, and so much more. And it's just so gut-wrenching to hear about these cases that happen in our community. There's been cases in Cove, there's been cases in, like Emily said, Fort Hood, Killeen, Temple, and it's just so sad to hear about these children, these men and women that go through this on a day-to-day basis. So just to be able to do something to change that is just a great feeling.
And Charity, this weekend you all will be having a contest. You've gone to a contest to present your project. Just tell us a little bit about that project.
Okay, so there are 40.3 million people in the United States who do get trafficked every year. And so 25% of that number are children. And so we really want to stress to these students and to these families how they can protect themselves and how they can protect their friends. And so we include warning signs, grooming warning signs, statistics, how they can keep themselves safe online, and really just things that they know how to detect, defend, and disrupt against a potential predator.
Thank you. Coming up on Good Morning Texas, we'll share more information on their mission and their project, the warning signs, what people need to know to keep themselves safe. Back to you, Joey.
Nikia, I tell you, these girls are impressive, so young too, and thanks for that. The First Lady of Texas, Cecilia Abbott, is taking on human trafficking as well. She's partnering with a Texas-based nonprofit to launch an education and awareness campaign. It's called Can You See Me Now? You might see billboards like this popping up around the state. They direct people to anti-trafficking resources. The First Lady says the goal is to get people to report cases of human trafficking.
These victims are made to believe they are complicit in their own abuse. But these victims are not invisible if we learn to look for the signs and if we learn how to report suspected abuse, exploitation, and trafficking.
If you or someone you know is a victim of human trafficking, just turn to the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Former Temple police officer Carmen DeCruz is on trial this week. He is charged with the shooting death of Michael Dean back in 2019. An eyewitness testifying that they heard DeCruz say, "My life is over, my career is over, and I've messed things up for my family." That witness claims that they told an officer, but it was not included in the police report.
My concern is the behavior of the Temple Police Department. They had those statements, and they chose to leave them out of certain documents. The civil suit that the family is pursuing against the city of Temple is concerned about patterns and practices, about the rules that they have.
The lead investigator in the case, the Texas Ranger, also took the stand, testifying that standard protocols for DPS to remove guns from the scene of an officer-involved shooting, but in this case, Temple Police are the ones who removed the weapon. Meanwhile, an investigation is underway this morning after a deadly shooting in Falls County. The sheriff's office says it happened on Highway 6, just south of Reagan, near County Road 255. You see this car here with the driver's side window shot out. The sheriff's office has not identified the victim. And 3 people now dead after a police chase in Milam County ends in a fiery crash. Sheriff's deputies chasing a car down County Road 337 Thursday. The car went off the road, crashed, and burst into flames. No one survived. New details on what Temple PD is calling the city's first murder of the year. Donovan also is charged with murder. Officers say he shot Michael Powell near South 31st Street Wednesday. Powell died in the hospital on Thursday. UMHB's women's basketball coach Mark Moorfield is off the job when we asked why the school would not comment. But now there is video circulating on social media showing Moorfield berating his players during practice. We want to warn you, this is graphic.
I see this happen all the time. Because you can't do the right thing. Because you're a bunch of frauds.
Moorfield telling 25 News it was out of character for him, and he says emotions were high after one of his players tore her ACL right before practice. He says he was also upset for that player after all the hard work she put in. The following day, the coach apologized to his team, explaining his actions and extending an apology to everyone affected while admitting his actions were upsetting. During his time at UMHB, Moorfield led the women's basketball team to 3 NCAA national tournaments. Kendra Foreman, now interim head coach. Well, if you're looking for a pet, there is no time like the present. How you can bring home a furry friend of your own from the Humane Society of Central Texas. They're coming up next.
And I'm tracking a chilly morning, but it's going to end up being a nice afternoon. Your forecast is coming up as well.
6:10. I tell you what, we got a really good-looking dog who's so well behaved, standing by, offset right now. We're going to meet that dog in a minute here, but we want to get to the forecast. Cold now, but you're saying changes are coming up in the next few days here.
Yeah, changes are coming up. You've heard the phrase 3-dog night.
Yeah.
It's the amount of dogs you need to stay warm. We're going to see a few of those as we get on into next week. It's one of those this morning, though. You maybe want 2 on your bed because it is chilly this morning. Look at those temperatures. 31 now in Waco, 32 in Mexia, 33 in Temple. Killeen, the warm spot right now at 40. Still, that's chilly. It's in the 20s out in San Saba. The winds are calm right now. That's why we're cold. But as we go through the day today, those winds will pick back up, and that'll bring in warmer air. We'll be in the mid-50s by noon, lower 60s later on this afternoon with the sunshine starting to build on in. And then clouds will start to move in, and we really won't see the sun for a while here in the 10-day forecast. Highs today in the lower 60s. That's where they should be this time of year. Our normal is 60. Overnight, they'll fall only into the 40s. The Live Radar Network quiet currently. What we're tracking is up here to the north. In fact, right over Alaska currently. That's our next little storm system that's going to roll through. You can see the dry air that's over us right now. That's going to get out of the way with another little wave of energy that comes across with our next cold front as we get into the weekend. Today's sunny. We'll have clouds try to move in later on tonight. As we get into tomorrow, we'll watch for some scattered showers, especially east of I-35. Overall, I'll put the chance of rain at around 30 to 40%. So many of us miss out on that. Don't worry, there are more rain chances on the way where that comes from. Here we are on Sunday. That next cold front going to swing on through, and we'll start off in the 60s on Sunday, cooling off into the 50s and the 40s by afternoon. Along that front, there will be some showers and thunderstorms. That'll be more likely down to the south. And then we enter a cooler pattern behind that front. Models bringing in colder air. That colder air kind of gets stuck. We'll have passing disturbances at the same time, so expect cold and wet conditions for much of next week. Right now, I don't see any Arctic stuff, but it is going to be pretty chilly next week.
All right, if you're looking for a new best friend, hey, this is the perfect time. The Humane Society of Central Texas has several dogs, not just several, they got a ton of them that need a new home. And we've got one special puppy with us here this morning. Let's actually just get right to it. He's been around in the shelter for quite some time.
Yep, he is one of our top 10 longest residents. He's been with us probably 8-9 months now. His name is Freestone, in case you're wondering. He is one of our resident seniors, so he's about 6 or 7 years old now. As you can see, very well behaved. He knows his basic commands. He knows paw. He knows down. Let's see if he'll do it right now. Down. Down.
Oh,
good
look at him
boy.
go. He lays down and everything.
Yep, he's a good boy. Freestone does prefer to be the only animal in the house, however. He doesn't really enjoy cats and tolerates dogs, but really prefers to be the only animal.
I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Everyone has their preferences, so.
I just met him.
This is the front seat of the car.
Yes, he loves to ride in the car. He jumped right in the truck this morning. He said, "Let's go."
Awesome.
So.
Look at him. He knows what you got there.
Yeah, he
waiting
loves
for
treats.
him.
He's very treat motivated, if you can't tell.
There's always so many dogs there that need a loving home, and because he's a senior, he comes with some perks if
Yeah,
you want to adopt him, right? What are those?
So seniors, which are dogs over 5, are actually free to adopt at any point. Right now, we are doing a special for dogs under 5. They're $23 to adopt those guys through the end of January. There you go, good boy. But seniors are always free.
This dude is so well behaved.
He is good boy.
I love a good shaker
Yep.
in a dog, so that's always impressive. You guys are going to come back in a few minutes with more?
Yeah.
All right, stick around, folks. We're coming back with that and this little puppy in just a few minutes. What a good boy. 6:17 now. Right now, a disaster declaration in effect for parts of southeast Texas hit hard by severe weather on Tuesday. The National Weather Service saying now the EF2 and EF3 tornado tore through the Houston area, causing major damage. Take a look. Harris and Orange counties are under a disaster declaration. Emergency response teams are looking through the damage now, and the state is asking FEMA for help. An East Texas man gets struck by lightning and lives to tell a story. Take a look here. Dell Dean's a truck driver. He got stuck in the mud during the storm and was connecting equipment to this truck when the lightning hit, sending him flying into a nearby ditch. A coworker found him and took him to the hospital. Doctors are stunned that he didn't die and he could still walk. They say the powerful voltage that went through him should have stopped his heart.
All that flashed through my mind that, man, you're not gonna be able to do this no more. Man, I kind of tear up when I talk about it like that.
He says he feels blessed to be alive, and he's thanking God for that. The CDC says the odds of being hit by lightning, 1 in a million. You got to watch out for that. You got to stay inside, of course, when a thunderstorm is rolling through the area, Josh.
Yeah, you sure do. And Joey, that comes from the sky, but thankfully when the skies are clear, we can also see some pretty cool things. One thing you'll be able to see here over the next few days or so on into next week is the Green Comet. Official name is C22E3 ZTF. Basically, that's where it was found and stuff. But it's passing for the first time in 50,000 years. Look just to the north after sunset. You may be able to see it with the naked eye. And it may be something that doesn't come back for thousands of years. So let's talk about when you could see it. Today may be the best chance to see it later on this evening, because look what happens as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Poor conditions hang around. That's because the clouds are increasing. So are our rain chances. We'll break down those rain chances in detail coming up, plus a look at the cool down as well. But maybe you'll see something pretty cool tonight if you can look up in the sky.
Hey, that'll be nice. Thanks, Josh. It's 6:19. These are the top scores we're following now. Ukraine's military says it shot down most of the missiles launched during Russia's latest attack. The Prime Minister says the strikes targeted energy facilities, killing at least 11 people and wounding 11 more. Tensions are flaring in Israel today after a deadly raid on a refugee camp in the West Bank. Israeli forces claim the raid was targeting a terror squad. They say they killed 3 terrorists. But the Palestinian Authority says 9 people were killed, including an elderly woman. Israel's forces did not suffer any casualties. We're expecting more indicators on inflation today. 3 reports will come out, including pending home sales and personal income. The Federal Reserve will look at those reports as it debates whether to raise interest rates yet again at its next meeting. Science fiction becoming science fact this morning. A little robot making some big waves in just 4 minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back, 624. And students at UT Austin can now get a master's degree in artificial intelligence. It's the first large-scale degree program, and the only master's focused on AI from a top-ranked school. Students will consider ethical questions and how AI might reshape the economy and the workforce as well. It's a 2-year online program through the Department of Computer Science. There's a new robot now that looks like something out of Terminator 2. Check this out. Scientists have designed this mini robot that can melt to escape from being locked up in a cage. It starts out solid and then it starts to liquefy. Look at it as it starts to break down there. This thing is also magnetic and can conduct electricity. Boop, there it went through the crack. Scientists claim they got the idea from sea cucumbers, which can change forms to protect themselves, which is a fun fact I didn't know about. Sea cucumbers. Isn't that cool?
I didn't know that either.
We're full of fun facts today.
Fun fact day here.
And we're also full of 25 news mugs. We're going to give one away.
Fun mugs. Yeah, let's give one away. Congratulations today to Stanley Lloyd. Congrats, Stanley. We'll let you know you can pick up one of these Good Morning Texas mugs.
You can sign up to win12 at kxxv.com. Just go there, click on the mug you'll find, and then give us your email address. We give them away every day. We'll do it again on Monday. Join us for that. Lots coming up Monday to look forward to. It's 6:25 now, and let's go ahead and get a look at what's happening as we move on into this weekend.
Yeah, as we move into this weekend, we're going to need to be ready for changes to come in. It's chilly out there now. We're going to bring in rain chances again, but not today. Today's quiet out there. It's plenty chilly, too. Lower 30s, feeling like upper 20s currently. 31 in Waco, 40 in Killeen, 33 currently in Temple. That's where we start your Friday. We'll be in the upper 40s by 10 o'clock, mid-50s by noon, and late this afternoon heading towards 60, where we should be this time of year. Our record, by the way, 83 in 1947. Future Track shows you we're going to have some high clouds at times today. That's about it. I think the evening will be dry, but then we get into tomorrow. That's going to be a different story. South winds today continue overnight. That'll bring in that Gulf moisture. We'll bring in cloud cover and eventually some showers as well. That best chance will be found along and east of I-35. Still, it's only about a 30 to 40% chance, so many end up missing out. Then a cold front arises as we get into Sunday. That's when the temperatures start to fall, and that is when our rain chances start to pick up. Look at all these rain chances coming in the 10-day forecast. 30 to 40 to even 60% chances of rain for the middle of next week. Looks like our highs won't get down in the 40 or out of the 40s either, so a chilly rain setting up for next week.
Okay, Josh, thanks for the warning. It is almost 6:30. We're coming right back.
Connecting Central Texas.
6:30
This
now.
is Good Morning Texas.
And thanks for waking up with us, folks. I'm Joey Horta, and let's get over to Josh Johns and show you what's happening with the weather this morning.
Sun's starting to come up. Joey, we have plenty of sunshine trying to sneak in behind there. There's some high clouds as you look off to the east on the Clark Roofing Cam, but it is chilly, lower 30s currently. Radar showing you some of those high clouds at this time. Don't expect them to hang around all day. Sunshine will start to filter on in. We'll be in the lower 30s at 7 o'clock. If you're getting that morning jog in, you'll need to bundle up. Back towards 40 by 9 o'clock. And then this afternoon, we're heading right where we should be this time of year. Lower 60s will filter on in. That before we get down into the 40s. Not as cold tonight, thanks to cloud cover building in and rain chances coming up. We'll break down those incoming rain chances, plus look at a big cool down this coming week in just a few minutes.
Josh, thanks. There are more than 300,000 victims of human trafficking here in Texas. Nearly 80,000 are kids, according to UT Austin. And students at Coppers Cove ISD are on a mission now to raise awareness. 25 News reporter Nakia Simon live from Coppers Cove with how these kids are making a difference. Good morning, Nakia.
Good morning, Joey. That's correct. They're not only going to make a difference here in Coppers Cove, but they're going for the glass at the competition this weekend in Cedar Ridge. Joining me this morning is Emily Eden, Charity Galliana, and Emily Kimball. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
About the contest tomorrow, Emily Eden, just tell me a little bit about how you're feeling and how you all prepared for tomorrow.
Well, we're feeling very prepared for tomorrow because we've done this presentation a bunch of times. We've been able to give it about 300 times and reach over 5,000 students. So we're definitely ready for tomorrow, and we hope to bring home that glass, like you said.
And Charity, for you, I know some people are watching right now. They want to know, what are some of the warning signs to protect themselves? Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. So a lot of the grooming warning signs and the way that these predators will come onto these victims is through a controlling relationship. You know, they will create opportunities that can only be achieved with themselves, and, you know, they'll give this victim some false promises that seem way too good to be true, and they just really don't line up, and they really attack the victim support system.
And for Emily as well, just tell me a little bit about, after the contest, what you just hope that not only those who will be reviewing your project take away, but also for people here in Copperas Cove.
Well, our organization, Students Against Child Trafficking, our mission statement aligns very closely with our founding organization, PACT, which stands for Partners Against Child Trafficking. And our mission statement is to empower students and our community through peer-to-peer communications. And those peer-to-peer communications, like Emily Eden said, is presenting to the students and now presenting statewide to our state judges and our fellow district competitors.
Charity, if anybody wants any more information about human trafficking or just want to follow you all on this important cause, where should they go?
They can follow us on Instagram at cchs.sact, or they can visit our parent organization's website at pact.city.
All right, Joey, they a dynamic trio indeed. These women will be heading tomorrow at Cedar Ridge to present their project amongst thousands of other contestants, and we're so proud of them. Back to you, Joey, in studio.
Hey, pretty impressive. Got to hand it to him. Thanks a lot, Nikia. 6:32 now. Former Temple police officer Carmen DeCruz is on trial this week. He is charged in the shooting death of Michael Dean back in 2019. An eyewitness testifying, they heard DeCruz say, "My life is over, my career is over, and I've messed things up for my family." The witness claims they told that to an officer, but it didn't end up in the police report.
My concern is the behavior of the Temple Police Department. They have those statements, and they chose to leave them out of certain documents. The civil suit that the family is pursuing against the city of Temple is concerned about patterns and practices, about the rules that they have.
The lead investigator in the case is a Texas Ranger who also took the stand, saying standard protocol is for DPS to remove guns from the scene of an officer-involved shooting, but in this case, Temple PD removed the weapon. An investigation is underway now after a deadly shooting in Falls County. The sheriff's office says it happened on Highway 6 south of Reagan near County Road 255. You see a car right here with the driver's side window shot out. The sheriff's office has not identified the person who died. And this morning, 3 people are dead after a police chase in Milam County ends in a fiery crash. Sheriff's deputies chasing a car down County Road 337 on Thursday. Car went off the road, crashed, and burst into flames. No one survived. New details on what Temple PD is calling the city's first murder of the year. Donovan Alsam is now charged with murder. Officers say he shot Michael Powell near South 31st Street on Wednesday, and Powell died in the hospital Thursday. Now to a traffic alert. If you're taking I-35 through Waco next week, TxDOT says crews will be shutting down the northbound frontage road just north of MLK. The road will be closed Monday morning through Wednesday night. And some road closures are also happening in Killeen next week. Part of Young Drive from Illinois Avenue to I-14 will be shut down Monday through Friday. State Senator sparking debate down at the Capitol. In 8 minutes, we'll take a look at who would be prevented from owning land in Texas and how some folks are reacting. But first, the weekend is here, so why not start it off by making a new best friend? We've got one who's looking for a home, up for adoption today.
And we're tracking what is going to be a nice day today, but cold air, rain, it's in the forecast. I'll let you know when it arrives. Coming up.
It is 6:37 TGIF. We made it to the last day of the week.
We sure have.
Isn't that great?
Oh, it's great to
Always
see.
It's so fun. I love Fridays. It's the best day of the week. And we are going to need to be dressed appropriately today as we step out.
Yeah, you may need the sweater this
Yeah.
morning. I'm not going to say you need it all day because we'll get into the lower 60s this afternoon, but you definitely need the sweater or the jacket this morning. We have temperatures that are in the 30s currently, 31 in Waco, a few upper 20s out towards San Saba, even some lower 40s currently in Killeen. We start off your Friday here in the low 30s. We'll be back in the 40s by 10 o'clock, mid 50s by noon, and late this afternoon heading closer to 60. The south winds will be around today. So whereas the wind was calmer yesterday, today it'll pick back up, and that'll slowly bring in a little bit more moisture and bring our temperatures up. We're heading for the low 60s this afternoon. In fact, about 2 degrees above where we should be this time of year. Enjoy it. This is the warmest air. The next 2 days are going to be the warmest of the next 10 that we have in store. You can see here on as we go into Saturday, the south winds continue to blow in. That'll bring in the chance for some isolated showers starting tomorrow. It's about a 40% chance, but most of the activity will be light, and most of that activity will be confined east of I-35 here as we go through the day tomorrow. Now, as we get into Sunday, you notice that little faint cloud working from north to south. That is a cold front that's coming through. Behind this, we fall into the 40s for much of the day on Sunday. We'll bring in showers, and that cold air stays around, along with multiple disturbances coming over through much of next week. So the rain chances are going to hang around. Right now, I think the best chance of rain coming up is Wednesday. As far as how much rain we could see, a good 1 to 2 inches will be possible with these multiple rain chances working through. Putting it all together here in your 10-day forecast, we'll call for that 40% chance of rain tomorrow, 20% on Sunday. Then we're hanging around 40 to 60% chances next week, and highs likely won't get out of the mid-40s. The chill's coming.
Hey, the Humane Society of Central Texas is running out of room because the strays, they just keep coming. We've got one right now who is really sweet, and this would be a great dog for you to take home. Sarah and Alicia here with us this morning. Thanks for coming in, ladies.
Yeah, no problem.
Tell us about your little buddy here.
So this is Freestone. Freestone is about 6 years old, so he's one of our resident seniors. He's also one of our top 10 longest residents. He's been here probably 8 or 9 months now. Obviously, as you can see, he's very well behaved. He knows his basic commands. He knows shake, he knows down, he knows sit. He's not necessarily cat or dog friendly, but that's just his preference. But he will be your best friend either way.
He's so well behaved, I'm serious. And because he's a senior, and I didn't realize 6 years old is a senior, but you know what? The phone's blowing up because people want him. I think they're seeing him on TV. Because he's a senior, he's free. Tell us about that.
Yep, so all the time, no matter the day, the month, the year, seniors, which are dogs over 5, are always free to adopt. Right now, we are doing an adoption special through the end of January for all dogs under the age of 5. They are $23 to adopt, and that includes microchip, vaccinations, spay and neuter. So, yep.
That's a great deal.
Yeah, it is a really good deal.
And it's so important to get animals adopted today, especially. You're saying you're running out of space.
We are, yeah. We've had a pretty couple of high intake days the past few days. So we're really needing to open up some space before time and space becomes an issue. We don't want to, make any hard decisions. So please come out and adopt a dog or 2.
You got it. All right. Thanks so much for coming in, ladies. We appreciate it.
Having us.
Anytime, and we'll be right back.
All right.
There is a bill moving through the state legislature to prevent anyone from Russia, Iran, China, or North Korea from buying land here in Texas. A state senator from Brenham is behind the idea, and KRHC anchor Paige Ellenberger is live from Bryandow with the details. Paige, good morning.
Hey, Joey. Yeah, good morning. I went to the small town of Brenham just to kind of get the lay of the land and also to stop by the senator's office just for any official statements. Here's what I found out.
I've been working with my daddy that long.
Melissa Solheimer knows Brenham.
Some days.
Taking part in the family business. The city was founded in 1844. Just 100 short years later came Foskey's Jewelry.
I've been doing it for 38.
Brenham is a quaint town. Just over 18,000 people call it home. But one senator who represents the people there and the rest of District 18 could impact every Texan.
I agree with everything that Ms. Colkhorst is doing.
Senator Lois Colkhorst has filled a seat in the Texas Senate since 2014. This session, she proposed SB 147, the land ban bill that would prohibit some foreign entities from purchasing land here in Texas.
Basically, security reasons. Why would anybody from China want to purchase land in the United States? We need to keep our own land.
Those on the other side, though, met in Houston to share their thoughts.
Once you go down that road, you'll never return.
That's right.
You'll have a billboard where people will say, don't even let them bank at your bank. Does the author of the bill know the can of evil worms that they may be opening?
Now, I am outside of the senator's office here in Brenham to get some clarifying press releases. This one sent just last week. It's very obvious that the senator and her team wants people to know that this bill is very much still in its early stages. It hasn't even hit committee yet, so a lot is slated to change. While some say what the senator is proposing is discriminatory, the senator says national security is a big concern for her, and she wants to, quote, keep Texas, Texas. Now, other Texas representatives have openly opposed this bill, like Gene Wu, who says that if this bill were in place when his family came over to the United States, he wouldn't be where he is today. Reporting live this morning from Bryan, Paige Ellenberger, 25 News.
Thank you, Paige. And Governor Greg Abbott's Lone Star Infrastructure Protection Act prevents the state from entering contracts with some foreign companies. The governor already endorsing this new bill, and he says if it makes it to his desk, he will sign it. Just ahead, your top stories. Tensions are high in Memphis, where 5 former police officers are facing charges in a teen's murder. We'll tell you what's expected today.
Well, good morning. We're looking at a beautiful sunrise out there currently, but I am tracking some rain chances in the forecast. We'll break it down coming up.
One of the perks of, getting up in the middle of the night and being awake so early is that you get to catch that sunrise, and it looks so good today, Josh.
Yeah, I got to step out of the way and show you the full view of this thing. It looks gorgeous out there right now on the Clark Roofing Camp. This is looking east from South Waco. Temperatures lower 30s currently. That's about all the cloud cover we'll see, too. It'll be one of those days where we see mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, but it'll all be high-level cloud cover here as we go through the day. The radar is quiet, too, so no issues on that morning commute. If you are getting a jog in, though, it is going to be chilly. 31 degrees currently. We'll be at 32 coming up by 8 o'clock and closer to 40 by 9 o'clock as we top out in those lower 60s this afternoon. But that's exactly where we should be. Enjoy it while you can. Cold air and rain is working in for next week. Breaking down that 10-day forecast coming up.
All right, Josh, thanks. 6:48 now. These are the top stories we're following. Video of a deadly encounter between Memphis police and Tyree Nichols will be coming out today. 5 officers now facing several charges, including second-degree murder. Police departments across the country anticipate protests. And police will be releasing video from the attack on former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband today. It's body cam video from a responding officer. The 911 call will also come out today. The accused attacker now facing state and federal charges. Trial continues this morning for former Temple police officer Carmen DeCruz, charged in the shooting death of Michael Dean in 2019. Eyewitnesses so far testifying that they heard him say, "My life is over, my career is over, and I've messed things up for my family." A witness claiming that they told an officer, but that didn't make it into the police report. A group of students in Coppers Cove are raising awareness about human trafficking in Texas. Students Against Child Trafficking working on a project to share important data and resources to make sure their classmates don't become victims. The group will compete at the DECA District 5 contest in Cedar Ridge tomorrow, hoping to advance to the state level in March. The National Center for State Courts says the average time for a felony trial is about 256 days, but that's not the case for Marvin Guy. The Bell County man has been locked up for about 9 years now. He's accused of killing a police officer during a no-knock raid. In-depth reporter Nick Bradshaw takes a closer look.
Marvin Guy recently spent another holiday season in the Bell County Jail, waiting for a trial.
Marvin Guy is my oldest brother.
His brother Garrett has been pushing for his release.
Through those 8 years, the city of Killeen took a look at that measure. They wanted to see about no-knock raids being dangerous.
Marvin is accused of killing this police officer, Detective Charles Dinwiddle. The shooting started after a no-knock warrant.
And so he didn't know that it was the police. I believe that he didn't know that it was the police on the other side of the door. And that community had a lot of break-ins and stuff of that nature. So he had like a couch up against the door. And so once they wasn't able to get through that, they bust through his bedroom window.
The search warrant was for drugs. Court documents says police never found the drugs. Marvin says after hearing glass breaking, he thought someone was breaking in, claiming self-defense.
You know, I don't know police tactics, but it don't sound good to me if you're or good policy to climb through a window.
If you have reached the point where you believe that a no-knock warrant is both appropriate and is authorized within your individual department's policy, then yes, it is not uncommon to use a window as an access point to get in there, particularly as a secondary access point.
But it can be dangerous.
Because it puts officers into a structure to where the person may not know you're coming, but they will very quickly.
Guy has spent the last 8 years in jail. A police officer lost his life, and Garrett believes all of this could have been avoided.
But I have nothing against it. I love the police. I think it's a heroic job that they do. We need more. We need more good people, but we need the community to have that trust in the police force.
A court date has been set for the middle of May.
Why do you think, for your brother, it's taken this long to get where he's at?
Well, you know, we are in Texas. We're in Texas. A black man has been accused of killing a white police officer. And in Texas, that's not just gonna fly. And so someone gotta be held accountable. With no drugs being found, with an officer losing his life, with my brother sitting in jail for 8 years, even at the end of the trial, there'll still be no winners. No matter how the outcome come out, there's no winners.
In Bell County, Nick Bradshaw, 25 News.
Guy's brother says that some of the delays are from hiring new lawyers and the pandemic. We reached out to Killeen Police and the Bell County DA, but there's a gag order preventing them from talking about this case. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are demanding answers about those classified documents we keep hearing about. National Archives reaching out to former presidents and vice presidents to see if they have any. John Lawrence has the latest.
The Department of Justice is holding firm on its decision to prevent the Senate Intelligence Committee from seeing what classified materials were in the possession of President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump.
There's really no reason to hold this up. That kind of information can be provided to the members or the leaders of the Intelligence Committee.
Republican Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas says he will refuse consent or to fast-track any nominee for any department or agency until Congress can see the classified information.
It's not constructive to have specific members this early in a brand new Congress say, I'm putting a hold on everything.
Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed separate special counsels to investigate the Trump and Biden situations.
I'm fully confident that they will resolve these matters one way or the other in the highest traditions of the department.
There's no word yet if one will also be chosen to investigate former Vice President Mike Pence after classified documents were found inside his house in Indiana.
People need to be conscious of the rules regarding classified information and appropriate handling of it. Those rules are there for a reason.
I'm John Lawrence, 25 News.
The Biden administration taking steps to protect renters now. The Federal Housing Finance Agency is looking at potential limits on rent hikes, while the Housing Department works on rental assistance and public housing. It wants to require a 30-day notice after not paying rent on time before breaking a lease. The White House calling the guidelines a blueprint for a renter's Bill of Rights. Well, it's almost that time again, almost 7 a.m. About time to hit the road, and Josh has got to check on the weather.
Yeah, and we're continuing to watch the beautiful sunrise out there this morning. Get outside, check it out. Let us know what it looks like at your house as you're waking up this morning. But be bundled up if you do. Upper 20s out there currently, lower 30s in Bell County. So everyone facing temperatures that are near freezing. That's where we start your Friday. We're in the upper 40s by 10 o'clock, mid 50s by noon, and low 60s later on this afternoon. Those south winds continuing around 10 to 20 miles per hour, so it will be a breezy day. As we climb up to about 60 in Evant today, 62 in Clifton and in Burnett, 62 also in Weston, Marlin, Georgetown as well, 60 degrees this afternoon in Temple. And same across the eastern counties, lower 60s, pretty common, 60 in Madisonville. Bryan College Station climbing up to about 62 to 63 degrees as well. Future Track shows you we're going to have that cloud cover increase here overnight into tomorrow. By tomorrow, I think we'll see some showers, especially east of I-35. About a 30 to 40% chance of rain. Then we get into tomorrow, or Sunday rather, that next cold front comes down. We'll bring in the chance of showers along and south of it, so that'll be down towards the Brazos Valley. Behind it, temperatures will fall into the 40s during the day on Sunday. And they're going to stay there through much of next week because this cloud cover settles on in, the rain chances settle on in, and it looks like we'll have multiple days of rain chances going through next week. We'll monitor the cold air closely. There is a chance we see some wintry impacts across the Lone Star State, but right now I think those stay north of central Texas. Our best chance of rain working in Wednesday. By the time it's all said and done, we could pick up 1 to 2, maybe even 3 inches of rain in some spots. Rain we need. It's just going to be chilly while we do it. Low 40s continue for much of next week. Could warm up by the weekend.
All right. Thanks, Josh. Thank you for waking up with us. GMA's next. We're coming back at 11. Have a good weekend.